Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. I want everybody to notice how calm LeBron James seems. Very calm. His energy is loose. I was watching him talk today and he was discussing how the team is going and how things are looking early on. And he looks so very loose. More loose this season than he did last season, in my opinion. Like he's much more comfortable in his Laker skin, so to speak, 5 years in. I also think whatever has been told to him behind the scenes has him settled in. He said he's happy to be there. He's happy to go on a journey. And in year 20, when you're LeBron James and you have on, what he has in front of him, every season is important. Now, granted, it's just about a decision for him. We're going to put pressure on him to win a championship now, but he may not see it as second to last year of his career or something like that. For all we know, he has plans for 5 or 6 years of playing, and if that's the case, then this is a year where he can pretty much afford to be a part of something that isn't necessarily destined to win a championship. Now, that's nothing. That's just me talking. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is it seems to me that he seems very settled in. He seems happy, and it seems like whatever's been said to him about our plans has him very confident about this season, despite not having what we would consider enough. So I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged because I think he's comfortable. What that means is I think a deal is in place, and I think he's comfortable with the pace at which we are moving right now. Meaning the fact that we haven't made this deal with the Pacers, I don't think that moves him at all. I don't think that the fact that we haven't made a move with the Utah Jazz, I don't think it's moved. I don't think he's bothered by any of this. I think he's ready to start the season with the group that we have, and I think he's poised to trust the front office to do what they need to do to bring him what he needs to make a playoff push this season. And I know he believes that he doesn't have that yet. This is pretty much what I'm here to say. I don't think he thinks he has that, but he don't look like somebody who doesn't have that, and that makes me feel real good as a fan. All right, so that's what I want to say. Also, very excited about what Darvin Ham is trying to do with the lineups early on. He has Russell Westbrook, Damian Jones, Bron, AD, and Kendrick Nunn. I like that because there's not a whole lot of lineups that we have that make it so that LeBron James and Russell Westbrook fit together very well. We don't have many. But there are certain things that make Russell Westbrook more comfortable. A dump it off to center like Damian Jones is very, very key, because that is a player that turns down the turnovers that Russell Westbrook's prone to make. That's what I'm here to tell you. Russell Westbrook makes many less turnovers when there's a center on the floor that he can dump past the ball to in situations when it's time for him to pick up his dribble and in situations that are rhythmic to him. He didn't have that last year. He found himself in a lot of trouble. Sometimes he found himself in midair trying to make passes, things like that. And I believe it was because he didn't have that safety net center on the floor for those moments a good portion of the time. So that's what I like. Another thing I like about the situation is Kendrick Nunn is a neutral player in terms of he's not exactly somebody that Russell Westbrook should be considering competing with for his position. It's a firm competition for the point guard position, and that's something to look at. Kendrick Nunn is somebody who is kind of neutral in that because he plays the two naturally. It's not Dennis Schroeder, it's not Patrick Beverly, guys who are likely to be taking that role from him. What we're trying to do is give him the showcase so that he can raise his value and that we can ship him off. Okay? So that's what I'm excited about. And this is going to sound strange, but I think it's in the Lakers' best interest to showcase him instead of bringing him off the bench for basketball reasons. No, we need to put a lineup on the floor that he looks good with so we can make him shine, so that somebody will want him. Okay, that's what it's about. Because if he looks as bad as he did last year, the chances of us being able to make what we need to make happen decreases. He needs to look better. So I think that lineup, Kendrick Nunn, it's a lineup that should be something that allows him to be himself. Kendrick Nunn's not going to be taking shots away from him, not going to be taking the ball away from him, not going to, it's going to be somebody he can find easily, who can do things that complement him, hit a three, slash to the bucket, stuff like that. What you didn't want in that situation is somebody who couldn't shoot, basically. You don't want his backcourt mate to be somebody who can't shoot the ball. Now, granted, Patrick Beverley would be an ideal person to put in that situation because Patrick can shoot, Patrick can defend. But I think it's smart for us early on to not throw Patrick out there because Patrick does have durability issues. So the less we rely upon him the early, the better. Now, I always said I wanted us to acquire him in the second half of the season as a buyout candidate for that reason alone. Because if we lean on him early, physically, too much, we'll wear him down before we get to a point where before we need him, which is the playoffs. So even though he's such an intricate piece to what we do, I think it's incredibly smart that we lean on other bodies throughout the majority of the season. If we can keep him healthy, it could be the difference between us making the playoffs and not, in my opinion. Plus, we got Scotty, man. We got the young players that need the roles that want to run around for all day, all night. We got the players. So this year, we should be able to buy our older guys much more time to rest. AD, Bron, and Bev should be able to rest plenty this season because of the type of players that we have in place that should be able to play their roles. I think we got games. There are going to be stretches where we're going to let Lonnie Walker run, Kendrick Nunn run. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be games like that. I want to see what Lonnie Walker can do because all I've been hearing about is what he can't do. That's another thing that's starting to annoy me. Every time I hear about Lonnie Walker from anybody, it's negative. And I'm like, listen, I don't know of the player, right? I didn't follow him in San Antonio. But this is somebody who can get some easy buckets in the open court. If we're going to pay attention to the things that guys can't do, can we focus on the fact that he's an easy bucket in the transition? Because that's one thing I know Lonnie Walker can be. A flying threat in transition. He can catch lobs on the fast break. He can dunk the ball. He can ignite your crowd. So, and he's a young guy with a lot of energy who can run. So that's what I do know. Now, about the stuff that he can't do well, defense, passing, all of the stuff that they say he's not good at, I'm sick of hearing about it. As a fan of the Lakers, damn it, I don't want to hear no more about his deficiencies because I haven't even seen him play. So can we see Lonnie play? Can we see what he can do? That's what I want to say. I'm sick of hearing about what he can't do. Damn it, and I ain't seen him at all. Enough. We're happy to have Lonnie, and I want to see him win. I want to see him succeed, and I believe that he has some good things to show us, damn it. So that's something I want to say. I'm sick of that. Let's put an end to that right away. Welcome to the LA Lakers, Lonnie Walker. We're happy to have you, and we can't wait to see what you can do, bro. Anyway, that's what I want to say. Cole Swider has me very encouraged by what I saw. Obviously, it was just a little bit of practicing, shooting, doing what he does best. But they're putting him to work. They're putting him in positions to have a position on this team that ultimately leans on his strength, which is shooting the ball. I think he's going to be seen a lot this season. At 6'8", he can play some 3, he can play some 4. And the fact of the matter is, he is our very best shooter. That is not up for debate. I don't think anybody who actually knows what they're talking about will disagree with that. He is our very best shooter. And because of it, we need to use him. We need to use him a lot, and I think we will. So that's what's up. I'm very encouraged. I'm seeing all the people I want to see with the big league right now, even though I know most of them are going to have to fight for their roster spot. At the end of the day, what we have is not just the Lakers, but our G League affiliate that also encompasses our entire team, in my opinion. It is very much a part of what it is that we're doing. And that's the beauty of where we're at right now in the league. You know what I mean? When I look at my Laker team, I don't look at our 16. I'm counting McCoy. I'm counting all the guys in the G League. I'm counting Swider. I'm counting, you know what I mean? The guys that are behind the team, because I know that in this era, maybe this is day one of this, but those guys are just as much a part of your franchise as the guys on the team. And when we start to look at it that way, then we really know what we have. We really know what we have. So I don't know if people look at their franchises that way. I don't even know if every team has a G League affiliate. But our G League affiliate team is so good that I actually encompass them as part of our asset class. And I think most of the organization does as well. Them are some damn good dudes that we got, about 7 or 8 of them, all good. So I look at all of them. They're all there. Huff, like I said, McCoy, Swider, Pippen, all the young guys are there. And I'm excited to see what they can do. Of course, we've talked about Max Christie and what I think he can do defensively. He's going to be key for us as we develop him on the defensive side. Even though he looks like Kobe, where he's going to make his money first, in my opinion, is going to be on the defensive side, which, of course, Kobe did. I ain't going to take nothing away from Kobe's defense. One of the great defenders in his day. So, this is a situation where just look at the Lakers. He say, Bron's cool, I'm cool. That's kind of how I'm feeling about the situation. He seems calm, and as a fan, I'm calm. Because if he was on some, maybe we can do a few things to get better, or we're just going, work our tails off and see how far we can go. If that was the tone, then I would be a little concerned. Like, the Lakers probably not good enough in his mind, and because of it, we're just not going to get the effort, or we're not going to, it's hopeless. That's not how I feel. I'm listening to all the ESPN. I'm listening to everybody who's assessing our team, and they're all logical in what they're saying. The team is not complete. We should be concerned. But at the end of the day, what we have is a team that more or less is incomplete. We know that. It's not a secret. We're not telling people that we believe we're going to win a championship with this unit. We're not telling people that we think the unit is something that was dreamt up. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we want. It's not. Simply put, this is the best we could do with what we had. In the circumstances that we were faced with, this is what we were able to put together. And the intent by putting this together was to put the team in a position to be able to make trades. Simply put, trades that can help the team get the assets that they need to win. So that's what this is about. This is about trading. It's about looking at the Lakers, raising the value of the people that are on the team right now, and bringing us the pieces that can ultimately get us over the hump in the second half of the season. That's it. It's an incomplete situation with the intent of being incomplete as it starts. So hopefully everybody sees it that way, and we don't listen to ESPN and these guys who are assessing our team telling us that we should be concerned when we know what the plan is. So we are absolutely clear on that. Bron is absolutely clear on that. AD's clear on that. All the guys are clear on that, including Russell Westbrook, who's going to most definitely have to be uprooted halfway through the season. He knows that. We know that. And we don't have to ask questions about whether or not he believes the team wants him gone, or whether or not we think he wants to be here, or whether or not he should be starting, or if he fits with the team, or if we should be concerned he doesn't have the shooting. None of that matters. What matters is us making him look good for the first couple weeks of the season so that he can get a triple-double or two up, and we can send him where he's going. That's it. You know what I mean? So that's all. I don't think anybody's confused by that. I think there are about maybe 3 or 4 other teams that have that same dynamic with some of their stars, and they're all playing it cool. They're all playing it professional, and they all probably have a bag packed. They probably already got the U-Haul and all of that paid for and ready to go on call. I'm telling you, it's just a lot of guys that, and some of them we don't think are going to be moved, that will be moved. That's what I'm here to tell you. I personally think somebody that ain't tradable, somebody that you don't think is going to be traded, somebody that's not in your mind, is going to get moved this year. And the reason why is probably out of necessity. I see situations around the league where certain teams just can't afford to keep the players that they have because either their timeline situation, or the player just got too old for what it is they're trying to do now, or they just had a setback that just ain't going to allow them to have the same timeline, and maybe suddenly the contracts that they have just don't necessarily make any sense anymore. They have not, I guess, addressed it yet, or maybe the ESPN and those guys haven't come around to saying, yo, this situation looks like it could go left, but it can. And I'm telling you, it's a couple of them. It's a couple of situations around the league. So once teams start realizing that they're not good enough, once teams start realizing that their young players may not be as good as they thought, or maybe even better than they thought, I do believe that we'll start seeing some major shifts. When I say major, earth shifting shifts, because the value of some of these older guys is coming down. That's what it really comes down to. Some of these guys, these older dudes, or some of the guys that have been vets, are now becoming older guys this year. It's day one of them being a little too old, and because of it, you're going to see some of them get moved too. So it's going to get interesting, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens in the NBA. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors are your NBA champions. You expect that they're going to come back strong with the young players that they have and stuff like that. But when you talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, you understand that this is a duo that has already proven themselves more than once. We won a championship once, but people forget the type of regular seasons that we had before AD went down, the situations before LeBron James went down. We were running strong with this duo at the top of the league. So all they need is a little bit of help and good health. And we could string together some serious games of victory. And it was something else I wanted to say about the situation as well. You just look at what everybody's saying about all of the stuff that went on with the Celtics and their nonsense. And people want to bring up our owner and our great legendary coach Phil Jackson. And I didn't want to comment on it too much, but I do remember how it went. But there's something to be said for, and this is all I'll give this, what the vibes actually are in a situation. But what I mean by that is, not every situation is created equal. Not every relationship is created equal. Not every professional relationship has to go left. One of the reasons why there was never anything made of Jeanie Buss and Phil Jackson is because they handled themselves properly. There was never any reason to. And that is what I wanted to say. Jeanie and Phil never gave anybody in Laker Nation any reason to look at them and say, that is not good for us, that is bad for our organization. When they made decisions, they made those decisions with the organization in mind, and we never suffered because of it. And when they went in separate ways, they went in separate ways amicably, and it never blew back on either our franchise or the Knicks. So when we talk about what is appropriate and who should be looked at and all of this and that and the third, you got to look at how people handle situations and why that situation is a terrible example because of it. They handled it well. They handled it well. And when they were at Staples Center, we felt like it was like royalty. We loved them together because Jeanie was our great owner and Phil Jackson had won us a bunch of championships. And they were good together. Seemed like their situation was positive. They were mature. It wasn't like they were a bunch of kids running around behind other people's backs and all that. And if there was other stuff going on, they kept it quiet and we never found out about it. You understand what I'm saying? So if there was something else to it, they handled it like they were supposed to so that it never became a problem. And the only reason why you're bringing it up is because another situation became a problem because it wasn't handled properly. They were examples of how it should be done. So that's what I wanted to say about the owners of the Los Angeles Lakers and our great Phil Jackson. They did it the right way. And because of it, it never became a thing. So that's what I wanted to say. That's been on my mind for a little bit, man. Hearing people bring up Jeanie, it's like, nah, that's not like that. They didn't handle it like that. And it wasn't even that type of situation. And because of it, we never ever had an issue. So that's worth saying. That's pretty much what I got, man. My name is BDL44, man. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.